36 plus million people have filed for unemployment and 4.7 million people can't pay their mortgage compared to 3 million in the Great Recession. In this video, I'm going to cover what all that means for the real estate market and when you'll be able to take advantage. Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Davis and welcome to my channel. So right now we have historically high unemployment, stay-at-home orders, businesses filing for bankruptcies, and industries completely halted. That means you should be able to buy a house for cheap, right? Not so fast. Houses are still at all-time highs and houses are still being sold as if nothing has changed. In this video, I'm going to cover the current state of the market, why prices haven't crashed, what you can expect so that you can take advantage of the market. If you're like me and you check Redfin or Zillow every day and you still see really expensive houses selling, you're probably wondering what the heck is going on. Comment down below if you're seeing on Redfin or Zillow houses still selling or if they're not even moving. When we look back on this real estate market in 10 years, the one thing people remember is forbearance. Forbearance is when a lender allows a homeowner to reduce or delay payments for a fixed amount of time. CARES Act, the government allowed government-backed loans, that's Freddie, Fannie, FDA, FHA, VA loans, to request for forbearance for starting up to 6 months with the ability to extend to 12 months. Non-government-backed lenders are also following suit and allowing an extension on forbearance with the same or similar protections. Some people are probably thinking, but Davis, don't they have to pay all 12 payments at the end of their forbearance and won't they be screwed? But no, Fannie and Freddie have recently announced that the forbearance payments can be ended at the end of the loans. In 2008, there were 3.1 foreclosures, and the government is clearly trying to avoid that again. And Freddie and Fannie have recently announced that anybody that's on forbearance can also still refi. Having this level of protection in forbearance will give homeowners many more options and scenarios that I'll go through at the end of this video. If you haven't already, click the subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video. And if you want to help me out, click the like button as this will share this video out to more people. What about the high unemployment? Doesn't that mean people won't be able to pay their mortgage once the forbearance period ends? On the surface, you have 30 million plus unemployed, which is 14% unemployment compared to the 10% unemployment during the Great Recession lows. It's easy to think that a bunch of foreclosures are coming, but that's not the case. In the years leading up to the Great Recession, there was something called ninja loans. No income, no job, no assets. Basically, banks were lending out to anybody, and people were speculating that houses would increase. People who were unqualified were buying houses that were really expensive, banking on the price of houses to raise. But if the house prices dropped, they would be underwater and totally screwed. Eventually, the dominoes began to fall, and then people foreclosed on their houses. There was too many houses on the market, thus causing the prices to plummet. Since then, the government has created stricter lending standards, so homeowners today are much more qualified than during the Great Recession. Now, homeowners can use forbearance as a defensive strategy to protect themselves and their homes because nobody has any idea what's going to happen during this pandemic. There was a small survey done by LendingTree where 1,000 homeowners reported answers and only 5% said they wouldn't be able to pay their mortgage without the forbearance. Another thing to consider is the CARES Act increased unemployment benefits, so some people are actually making more money unemployed than when they were working. Also, there are talks in the next stimulus package to extend unemployment benefits until January 2021. Homeowners in the Great Recession didn't have as many protections as they do now. Even if homeowners foreclose, the average time to process a foreclosure is 6 months. Homeowners today have more than double the equity than compared to the Great Recession. In 2018, homeowners had $15 trillion in equity versus just $6 trillion during the Great Recession years. That means homeowners have way more protections now and they have more equity so that they're less likely to go underwater. Traditionally, spring is buying season for homes, but with the lockdowns and people being more cautious, showings plummeted during the month of April. Things slowly begin to open back up and buyers getting used to the new norm. Summer is projected to be the new buying season. Another way the government has helped maintain this current market is by lowering interest rates. The government wants to boost the economy, they'll lower interest rates so that it's cheaper for people and businesses to borrow money. It means that buyers can get a house with historically low rates and potentially FOMO in because they're afraid interest rates might raise. Pent-up demand, low supply, and low interest rates will keep housing prices at their current levels. When will we be able to buy a house at a discount? By clicking the like button. But really, if you found this video helpful up to this point, please help me out by clicking the like button as it'll share this video out to more people. The number one driver will be the supply of houses. Right now, the supply in most markets is still low and demand is outpacing supply. I know the stock market just crashed, but the real estate market is going to take much longer. Houses take time to go on the market, get under contract, and then process. During the Great Recession, it took nearly 4 years for the market to bottom out. The Great Recession technically started in December 2007, and the bottom of the housing market wasn't until 2011. Again, there was no forbearance protection back in the Great Recession, so when people foreclosed, there was just a huge wave of houses coming to the market. And when banks took ownership of those foreclosures, their goal is to offload the house off of their balance sheet because they want to make money by lending money, not by holding properties. So with all these houses coming to markets, the prices plummeted. So back to what I said about earlier about homeowners having more options, there are 4 main scenarios that they could potentially go through. The first scenario is the homeowner filed for forbearance as a defensive measure. They still have a good job and they can still pay their mortgage so they won't lose their house. The second scenario is they could be filing for forbearance and then eventually selling their house and then taking the equity they gain to use as a cash cushion. The third scenario is they'll keep their house, stay on forbearance, and then ride this out and hope to get a job at the end of all of this. And the last and worst case scenario for homeowners would be go on forbearance, try to ride it out, and not end up getting a job, and then they'll be forced to sell their house. Even with the protections of forbearance and more qualified homeowners, how the second wave of the pandemic will play out will determine the direction of the housing market. Where things will start shifting is when homeowners think that the pandemic will last much longer and they're unable to find a job, so they want to try to stabilize, so they'll be forced to put their house on the market. This will likely lead to many homeowners listing their houses on sale, thus increasing the supply of houses, and in order for these homeowners to compete and sell their houses, they'll be forced to drop their prices. But for now, due to the 12 months of forbearance, the low supply, low interest rates, high demand, and a small portion of those homeowners using forbearance as a precaution, home prices will currently remain the same, if not go higher, at least in the short term. Let me know in the comments down below if you think the housing market is going to crash within the next 6 months, 12 months, or even longer than that. I had a lot of fun researching this video, so let me know if you have any other topics you want me to research and make a video on. Subscribe down below and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.